we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please stand with me as we pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Board of Adjustments is a 9-member board. We're appointed by the City Council and we serve on a voluntary basis without compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is that I'll read out the name of the petitioner. If you will, please come to the podium and speak loudly and clearly into the mic, and then present your request, and then be prepared to answer any questions that any member of the board might have or anyone in the audience may have. Anyone in the audience will be given the opportunity to come forward and ask questions or voice your opinions about that particular item. Once we receive public testimony and discussion for a particular item, the members of the board will deliberate and we will render our decision this afternoon. I'll remind members with a personal or a financial interest in any item, you're required to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item will be binding as to any decision the board makes relative to that motion. I remind the members of the board that if a motion to deny is made on a particular item, you must give a reason. At this time, I'll introduce the members of the board that are here tonight. Ms. K.T. Brown, our Vice Chairman, Ms. Virginia Coley, Mr. Bo Holmes, Mr. George Howell Jr., Mr. Corey Johnson, Mr. Blake Markham, Mr. Pickett Reese, and I'm John Stanley, your chairman. Our staff that's here tonight is Mr. James Center, Mr. Tommy Tyson, and Recording Secretary Jovan Hines. We have 8 members here tonight. It takes 5 votes to approve a motion. Any questions? Okay, we'll get started with item number 1 presented by Mr. Johnny Perkins. Is Mr. Perkins here? Okay. Mr. Perkins has been given ample opportunity to make his presentation to this board. The board has been lenient in that regard, and so we will now allow the circuit court to make the decision on that. Mr. Center?
Yes, sir.
Do we need a vote from the board on that?
No, sir.
We don't need a vote.
No, sir. Staff can take over from here.
You take over from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Board members, anybody have any questions in regard to that particular item? Okay. The staff takes over from here, Mr. Center, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item 2 is presented by Bertha Tate. Ms. Tate here. Requesting a special exception for church use and setback variances for an open carport to be located at 3402 Homeview Street in an R60D zoning district. Ms. Tate, we delayed the meeting back in June.
Yes.
To give you time to present to us a site plan.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct?
Correct.
So, board members, if you'll look in your agenda, there's a site plan here that depicts what the petitioner would like to do, and I'll kind of take it over from here if you're okay with that.
Yes, I have Mr. Pierce here also. He's going to be representing.
Okay. Well, board members, we're talking about a 24 by 30 foot carport.
Yes, sir.
With 6 parking spaces provided
Yes.
on this particular lot. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I understand most of your members, a lot of your members will be expected to walk.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, sir, if you'd like to come forward and tell us a little bit more about your request for this particular item.
I am Curtis Pierce.
And you're going to have to pull that mic close to you and speak loudly so
Okay.
that we can hear you.
My name is Curtis Pierce. I am
Mr.
the surveyor.
Pierce? Mr.
Pierce. P-I-E-R-C-E,
Okay,
Pierce.
okay, Mr.
First
Pierce.
name is Curtis, C-U-R-T-I-S. I am a land surveyor registered by the state of Alabama. And I did the plot plan for Miss Tate. And I think you have a copy of it in your file, or in your packet rather. And as you said, shows a 24 by 30 foot structure, which is like a carport. It's an open air structure. And it has the setbacks to the boundary lines as shown. From the west boundary, as it states in the letter that I received from you about this meeting, it's a 10-foot setback, which is a 25-foot request for a 25-foot variance. On the west boundary, there is no structures, or there are no any kind of development of any kind within 50 feet of the property line at this
Okay.
point.
All right, Mr. Senator, this is not a separately platted lot. This is a lot that includes the house that's there, correct?
No, sir, this is a platted lot that's vacant.
So this would be a structure on a platted lot that has no dwelling.
If it wasn't a church, yes, sir. But in a church, it's a special exception because the church can go in any district.
Gotcha. So we don't have to have a structure or residence on this lot.
No, sir.
Got it. Okay. So, Ms. Tate, you realize that if we approve this, it is limited only to church services,
Yes.
period.
Understand?
Okay? All right. Now, understand you got 6 parking spaces, and understand you got several people that are probably going to be walking to services.
That's correct.
Okay? Now, there can be no parking of vehicles on Homeview Street or Community Street.
I understand.
Those streets are narrow as they are.
Yes.
Okay? So we can't have members driving to the site and parking on the street.
I understand.
Okay. All right, now tell us about your hours of operation. Yeah, well, I understand you're going to have revivals 3 nights up to a week from time to time, correct?
That is correct.
What are you doing about exterior lighting for those events at night?
Okay, I'm going to start out, with a...
Ma'am, you may have to move that mask down because it's hard to understand you.
Okay, I'm going to start out with a generator, for the lighting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're going to start out with what?
Generator.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Generator. A generator, okay.
Yes.
A generator, but it's going to have lights, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you got to substantially light that property because it's likely that the street lights are inadequate to light that lot.
Yes, and I am going to have additional lighting. I'm going to have, a street light. 2 poles are there. One is right at the back of the property. I'm going to have Alabama Power to put a light there to give me more lighting.
Well, they can provide you with an LED light that will light up that entire parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Would you agree to have that installed before you start having services?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, you've got access for the 6 parking spaces. That's going to come in off of Homeview Street.
That is correct.
Is that curb cut that's there now? Is that concrete or is that gravel?
Okay, the drive there already is concrete.
Okay, it's concrete.
Yes.
Okay, because we want to keep gravel out of Homeview Street.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question, board members?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
There's a house to the west of this lot on the photograph we have. Is that house still there?
Do you understand the question?
I understand the question. I'm trying to remember. Yes, I see. That house where the photograph is not there.
Okay, it's gone.
It's gone. There is no house sitting that close to the line. As I stated earlier, there's nothing within 50 feet of that
Well,
boundary line.
that's what I thought you said, and then I
Yeah.
saw this house, so I
Yeah, I see that now. I haven't, I didn't pay attention to that photo before, but no, that is not how it is right now. No, sir.
okay.
Okay. Anything
As a
else?
matter of fact, I believe I'm safe in saying that that lot, I see that as a lot right there where that house used to be. That lot is vacant at the present time.
Okay. One more question. Who owns this lot where you're going to be?
I own that lot.
You own it?
Yes, I am the owner of the lot where the carport gonna be.
Okay. And who owns the lot to the west of it? Do you know? Not important, just curious.
Yes, that is owned by Ernestine S. McQueen.
Okay.
She resides at 1419 Rushing Street, Montgomery, Alabama, 36107.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Tate, one thing that this board always requires is that when you have gravel parking, which is what you're planning to have 6 gravel parking spaces,
Yes,
you're going to need curb stops to identify those spaces.
yes,
You can use cross ties or you can use concrete stops, but you've got to identify those spaces.
I understand.
Because it's not like you've got a paved parking lot there with 6 marked parking spaces. So you've got to identify those 6 spaces,
I understand.
either with cross ties or concrete stops, okay?
I understand.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Brown?
I wanted to know, I see Sunday 11 a.m. varies to 7 p.m. and revival 3 nights up to a week. What 3 nights?
Well, I'm uncertain on that. It depends, on the weather or what, hopefully it'll be maybe a Saturday, Sunday, and a Monday night. If I'm having a revival, 3 nights. If it's gonna be a week, I'll be looking at Monday through Friday.
Okay. Go ahead and ask her.
Well, the reason I'm asking that question is that we need to know what 3 nights you're going to be there so that the neighborhood itself will know.
Are you talking about for the revival itself? 3 night would be like on a Monday, Wednesday, a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're going to have noonday prayer every day or every what?
That'd probably be 3 days. Also Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
On those same days that you're going to have the revival?
No, ma'am. On a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, it would be a noonday prayer.
Monday,
Wednesday, and Friday.
All right. Any other questions, board members?
Ma'am, let me understand your question. Are you asking me, am I going to have a noonday prayer at the same time of the revival?
no, I'm asking you what days are you going to have noonday prayer? Are you going to have it all week? Or are you going to have it on certain days or every day?
No, ma'am. As I said, on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday for a noonday
Wednesday,
prayer.
Or Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday?
Yes, a noonday prayer.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday?
Yes, ma'am. 3 days a week. 3 days a week.
You good? You good, KT?
Okay, I want to make
Right.
sure. Revival, 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Noonday prayer, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Ms.
Ye-
Howell?
Yes, is the carport going to be built on a slab,
It gonna be on the ground, naked ground.
naked ground?
Yes.
Won't be a floor under the carport or anything?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Brown. One more question.
When you say Sunday, 11 a.m. varies to 7 p.m., What do you mean by the varies? The
varies.
hours are going to be varied?
Yes, ma'am. The reason I put that on there, it's gonna be depending on the weather.
Yeah, it's just, she can't nail it down, but her range is between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. She's good. Okay? You okay?
Mr. Stanley,
Yes, sir.
as staff, I've got a concern. I'd like to know, Ms. Tate.
You're gonna have to speak up.
As staff, I've got a concern. We don't need to create a place for loitering. I'm curious about chairs or picnic tables or something that's up underneath there when not in use by the church. It would just be a haven for things to go wrong. So if she could kind of tell us, is everything going to come and go as you're using it, or are you planning on using anything permanent?
It's gonna be come and go, fold chairs, fold up chairs. I'm gonna bring them and take them.
Okay, so, but they'll be removed when the services are not,
Yes, sir.
okay. Well, that will cut down
Okay.
that will cut down on the chances of somebody wanting to go sit up underneath there and,
Good.
Yeah, but you still got a big area undercover for people to go sleep.
Well, I
instead of a bridge, they'll go sleep under that.
yes, sir, Mr. Holmes, and I thought about that, and if Ms. Tate would be willing to, you know,
We may need
a
to try
chain
and
link,
fence it in
a
or
chain
something.
link fence could be put around the carport with a gate,
Yep.
and, you know, that could be, you know, locked, and that would slow people down. It may not eliminate the problem, but that is an option because, you know, the loitering is a major concern by staff.
Because if you have people set up under there, they don't have to leave. You may not be able to get them off there.
I didn't hear you.
I'm just saying, if people set up under your carport, the homeless people,
Yeah.
you may have a hard time getting them to leave. So we may have to talk about considering building a chain link fence around it.
Yes. I understood what he said. I will be willing to, you know, put a fence around the carport, you know, a lock gate
Okay.
fence around it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
That'd be good. That'd be good. And I'm gonna ask that when they leave, after every service, you clean up the trash, okay?
Yes.
Because next thing you know, you got trash everywhere.
Right. I understand.
And so, all these tables and chairs that you put out, you remove them after every service.
Correct. It's just gonna only be chairs, no tables.
Ma'am?
It's only gonna be chairs, no
Okay.
tables.
Okay, but still move them, because
I understand.
like Mr. Holmes said, next thing you know, you got somebody there and you can't get them out of there.
I understand.
It's a problem. Any other question, board members? Okay, we've covered a lot of items. Giovanni, have you got all the issues, or do we need to restate them in a motion?
I got 'em.
You got them? You got them all covered? Okay? All right, do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Stanley,
Motion to approve.
Mr. Stanley,
Yes.
I don't know if there's anybody in the audience or not.
Sir?
I don't know if there's anybody in the audience
Oh,
that's concerned.
excuse me, I'm sorry. Is there anyone in the audience that would care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
He's already got it. Go ahead. He's already made the,
I'd like to make the motion as requested and add to it that the petitioner build a barbed wire, a chain link fence around it with a gate in order to keep people from loitering. Removal of all chairs, trash after each service.
and
Anything else?
all the other things
And
that we
anything else
covered.
that you agreed to during this meeting.
The lights, the parking lot, the bumpers for the spaces, no parking on the street, okay?
You good with that?
I'm good with it. I understood.
All right.
Yes.
All the items we covered.
All right.
Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. From Mr. Pickett Reese. Motion made by Mr. Holmes. Any further discussions? All in favor? Raise your hand. Okay. You got a good idea and you got a good event, but you got to monitor it and you got to police it and take care of it.
I will.
Okay? Because if you don't, we can retract this motion.
I understand.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to say that
Thank
she
you.
abstained.
Huh?
We're gonna say that she abstained, because she's over in.
I guess you're gonna have to put Ms. Brown down as abstaining,
That's fine.
okay? Since she's still on the phone. We're gonna move forward anyway.
Yeah, here we go.
Item number 3 is presented by Betty Brooks, requesting a special exception for an additional mobile home for living purposes to be placed on the property located at 2929 Rabbit Road in an Ag 1 zoning district. Ms. Brooks? Mr. Brooks? Who's going to make the presentation?
I will.
All right, in your name?
My name is Lionel Huffman.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Lionel Huffman. Lionel Huffman. Huffman.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So tell us what you want to do, Mr. Hoffman.
Well, good evening, Council. I would like to, well, we're proposing building or setting up 30 by 80, double wide, on the property of 2929 Rabbit Road.
Okay, so you already have an existing mobile home there.
That is correct.
You want to add one more mobile home.
That is correct.
Is this for family members only?
That's correct.
It's not for rental purposes,
No.
okay? Let me look here. You must already have existing septic tank lines there.
That is correct.
So you're going to tie into that?
No. No. I'm actually going to build a separate one.
A separate one?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Any questions, board members?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Who owns this property?
We do.
You do?
My wife and I.
Oh, okay. Who is Betty Brooks?
This is she.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you're getting kind of crowded there, so don't expect to come back and add another one.
I don't expect to.
Because any questions, board members? Is anyone in the audience care to address this item? Chair will entertain a motion.
I move the request exception for an additional mobile home for living purposes.
Have a motion to approve as presented. Have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Howell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Item 4 is presented by Willie Gardner, requesting a special exception for an accessory structure without a main dwelling, a special exception for sanitary facilities, and a coverage variance for a proposed accessory structure to be located at 151 Canaan Drive in a zoning district. Mr. Gardner?
Yes, my name is Willie Gardner. My wife, Nebraska Gardner.
Okay.
She will be.
So you want to construct a 1,000 square foot accessory structure.
Yes.
What are you going to use this accessory structure for?
For family gathering?
I'm sorry, for family gatherings?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know, you're asking to put this structure on a lot that does not have another structure on it.
Exactly.
Okay? So you got to tell us about the structure, similar to what the exercise we just went through with item number 1. You know, what's it going to look like? How big is it going to be? How you going to control activities?
We got sanitary.
Huh?
They're wanting sanitary too.
I'm sorry.
They're wanting sanitary.
Yeah, and you want to put, is this going to be enclosed, or is it going to be a house or a building, or is it going to be open?
It's just a structure. It's not a house. It won't be nowhere for no one to dwell, and it's not being built for no business purpose.
So it's going to have walls on it, or just a roof?
No, it has walls.
So it's going to be a building,
Yes,
just an open building for family gatherings, and you want to put sanitary facilities in it, correct?
yes, sir. It will be closed in, though.
Ma'am?
It will be closed in.
Right. Not be used for living purposes.
No, sir.
Do you have home? Yes, you do. I'm looking at the aerial photograph. You got homes all around it.
Yes, sir.
There was something there. What was there before?
It was a house there, but it was burnt down.
So you're looking to go back on top of the existing slab?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Before I
be
go any
noted,
further, is there anyone here in the audience here to discuss this item? Okay. Mr. Center?
Mr. Chairman, they own the lot next door. They actually live next door, so.
But it's a separately platted lot
Yes, sir, it is.
without an existing residence,
Right.
okay? It's different than the church,
Yes, sir.
okay? Okay?
Do you have any drawings or anything what it looks like?
Should I bring it up there?
Ma'am?
Oh, sure.
I think you've got what we have on our
Oh,
agenda.
I just need a picture of what you're planning on building there if we approve it.
You know, when you talk about family events, is this to include things like a family reunion?
No.
So what are you going to use it for family gatherings for?
So you've already started building on this? So that's an existing structure.
That's a
That's
home.
That's plumbed out.
Yeah. What's the difference in that and a resident? No.
Why don't you
Plans?
Why don't you make this a home that's
How are you gonna give it back to her and we don't see it?
I was gonna let her pass it down to you.
She can give it to me. That's fine. Why don't you just go ahead and build a home, and so that you're compliant and you don't have to come to this board?
I'm sorry.
Why would you not want to go ahead and build a home with, and not have to be coming to this board? But this is called an accessory structure. It's not a home, it's an accessory structure, but it's on a platted lot.
Okay.
I have a question. James, where does the building
Well,
commission come into play with this?
well, the codes are going to change dramatically if it's built as a home.
Right.
Okay, and so will insurance
Sure.
and everything else. So since we were aware that they had the slab in when they found out that they needed to go through this process. Didn't realize they'd gone any further. But since they had a coverage issue, staff decided to bring it to this board because we could address all of the problems, in one fell swoop, so to speak. Or all the requests, not problems, I'm sorry, all the requests. And when I was helping him into taking the application or whatever, I don't remember the number, but yeah, personally, I can understand there's quite a few kids and quite a few grandkids, and I can understand where they're coming from. I don't remember how many grandkids it was, but I was thinking of that's a bunch of kids.
Is it gonna have heat and air?
Have what?
Heat and air?
It will have air.
I mean, it's a house.
I know.
I mean,
Why do we
it's got
advise it here?
plumbing, a heat in the house. I don't
Well,
understand
see
why we're here.
We're here, yeah.
James, what code does this building have to meet?
It doesn't have to meet the same stringent codes as a dwelling would.
Well, why wouldn't everybody just do that then? In the city? Okay, I'm not gonna build a house, I'm gonna call it an accessory structure.
Well, they wouldn't be able to live in it, and that's one reason that I
But
stipulated.
they could use it for 23 hours of the day and just not live in it.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Brown, you got a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what type of family gatherings are you referring to?
I'm gonna do that at my house.
Just dinner, like Sunday dinner.
I can't hear.
Just consider, ma'am, of Sunday dinners or a movie night, something of that nature. I don't mean parties or anything of that nature.
Okay. Any other questions, board members?
Well, I want to sum
Mr.
this
Howell?
up, please, in my head. You're going to build on an existing slab. You're going to have walls and a roof and rooms inside and plumbing and doors and windows, right?
It's not room, sir. It's just one open area where we'll be able to sit down with at tables and chairs.
No, there's walls in the picture you sent me.
Well,
There's
that
walls
just
in there.
to go to the bathroom.
Okay, you're going to have one bathroom or more?
It's 2 bathrooms.
2 bathrooms. And the rest of it's just an open area,
Yes.
okay? You're going to have carpet in there or anything?
Well, I won't say carpet, vinyl. We'll put vinyl down on the floor.
Electrical? You're gonna have electrical, right?
Yeah, you're going to have electrical, and you're going to have heating and air conditioning.
If she's gonna have electrical, then if we allow this, she doesn't have to have an electrical inspection, but she's got people living there or staying there 23 hours a day.
Mr. Chairman, I can only present to you what's presented to me.
Right.
And you know,
We can either declare.
Yeah, okay. So if we were to allow this, they don't have to get code inspections, electrical or plumbing, right?
anything like that they do, they would have to. It would be no different than heating and cooling in a garage, which a lot of people do. And it's no different in some aspects of the gardening sheds that have been approved.
Yeah, but this is a whole house. It isn't just one little room. I mean, this is a big structure.
But look at what she's
I
asking
know, but if
for.
we approve this, everybody in the city could go do this.
Well, not without your approval.
Well, I know, but once we start it, we open up the box. I mean,
But look at what she's requesting.
We
She's
see,
I understand what she's
requesting an
requesting.
accessory structure without a main dwelling, a special exception for sanitary facilities, and a 640 square feet coverage there.
I understand that, but what they're building is a house, but they're not having to go through all the permits and the.
They'll have to permit,
Well, they'll have
Mr.
to permit,
Holmes.
but they don't have to go through all the
They'll have
other
to-
codes, the
they'll have
building
to-
codes.
They'll have to permit it.
But they don't have to follow all the building codes, right?
No, sir, because it's not going to be permitted as a house. It's going to be
Exactly.
permitted as an accessory structure.
Right. I think we're opening up.
Well, Mr. Holmes, in answer to that, I've been doing this 21 years, and this is the first occasion I've had this.
right. Okay. Any other questions, board members? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we deny this request.
Have a second?
In my excuse, it just goes against everything we've ever thought that was correct up here. It's building
Yeah,
a
you got
house
it.
without a, yeah, it's a structure that can be inhabited.
Well, and it's an accessory structure without a dwelling.
Correct. That'll be my reason. It's an accessory structure without a dwelling.
Is that good enough?
But it's an accessory structure that's built like a dwelling, basically.
Yeah, but it's identified here as an accessory structure. Okay. All right, we have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Before I ask for a vote, is there anyone in this audience who cares to address this item? Any further discussion?
We are voting on one thing and they are presenting something else to us. They are presenting to us, no matter what we are looking at and what we are thinking. They want a special exception for an accessory structure without a main dwelling, a special exception for sanitary facilities, and a 640 square foot coverage variance.
And Mr. Reese made a motion to deny it.
Right. And Mr. Howell second the motion. So we have a motion to deny and a second. All in favor of the motion to deny, please raise your hand.
What was the reason for the denial?
He gave the reason. Motion carries. It's denied. You'll have to see staff about the arrangements to remove your structure.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
Well, they can build it as a house.
You can build it as a house and get it approved as a home, and you won't have to be coming here. Okay?
Just see Mr. Centers. He can probably help y'all with that.
Okay? Jovan, did you get you get those? We had six. Did you get that? Do you know who voted for and against it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right, we'll vote again. Everybody in favor of that motion, raise your hand. Everybody in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Okay, everybody opposed to that motion, raise your hand.
I got it.
Got it. I thought you did. Okay. Item number 3 is presented by Mr. Reginald Miller, representing Torch Cigar Bar LLC, requesting a variance to ordinance 17-2014 for a building located at 1801 West 3rd Street in a B2 commercial district. Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir. Thank you. We're proposing that you allow us to be able to operate a cigar lounge at this location, which is at 1801 West 3rd Street in the Montgomery district.
Okay. And you're going to be within 75 feet of the nearest residential boundary.
Yes, sir, we are. And it's, from what I understand, it's being utilized as an Airbnb, so they rent it out to people whenever they come to town or for whatever reasons for, living and staying for a short period of time.
All activity within the building?
Yes, sir, it is.
Any loud music?
No, sir, not outside, just inside.
What are you going to do about exterior lighting? Because I know you're going to be open at night.
Sir, we actually have, right now we have, of course, off-street lighting that's by Alabama Power. We do also have lighting around the building, which includes cameras. So each camera has lights on each camera that kind of lights up the building on the outside.
Where you going to park?
We have off-street parking. Of course, we have some parking down the side of the building. Hopefully, eventually, we can extend it around the back area.
Behind the building?
Yes, sir.
What you going to do about a parking lot?
Parking lot?
You know, gravel?
Yes, sir. Gravel.
Well, I don't have to tell you, I'm sure those streets are very narrow.
Excuse me?
Those streets are very narrow.
I can understand. I'm sorry.
The streets are narrow, so we don't allow on-street parking.
Okay. Yes, sir.
That's my point.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah. So we have, of course, parking on the side. Of course, we're not trying to be a nightclub. It's just a place where a person can come and relax during the afternoon. Of course, our hours are from 4 o'clock p.m. until 8 o'clock in the evening. So we're not really trying to be a place where you can come party or anything like that.
So you'd be closed by 8 o'clock at night
Yes, sir.
and open no sooner than when?
4 o'clock in the afternoon, and for that reason is because of maybe the school traffic and that kind of thing
Give that to me again.
in the afternoon.
Ma'am?
Give that to me again.
Well, he just said his hours of operation going to be from 4 p.m. to 8 o'clock at night.
Yes, sir. Now, let me say, on Saturday, we probably will open around 11 because it's Saturday and there's not much traffic, and of course, school is not in during
You
that
going to
time.
serve food there?
No, sir.
No food. So you're just going to be smoking cigars and cigarettes and drinking,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir. No cigarettes, just cigars.
Applying for a liquor license, I guess.
You got to apply for a liquor license?
Yes, sir. We have actually been approved for a tobacco license already. Of course, we're just waiting on the variance and to get the alcohol and beverage license approved.
Okay.
So, how many cars do you think you can park in the back behind the house?
We probably could get, if we go down the side and go around the back, probably at least 15 cars.
How many?
15?
Yes.
In the
we
back
have-
of that
we-
house?
We have a pretty
Ain't no
large
way.
lot on the back.
Ain't no way. 15 cars?
We have a pretty large lot available on the back for gravel.
No, I'm looking at it.
So if we start on the side,
But you're not gonna be able to get out. Like, whoever parks in the front can't, I mean, whoever pulls in first, if you pull in behind them, there's no way to get out. There's
and then also there's a parking lot across the street that our neighbor said that we were more than welcome to use at any time. We're kind of,
Board members,
well, and he'd have to get something from the neighbor as well, showing that.
board members, this is going to be my recommendation that we delay this and let the petitioner come back with a site plan to show what he's going to do with his parking, how he's going to access this space, how he's going to create enough parking to take care of his customers. That's my recommendation. Anybody want to make that motion, or otherwise we'll hear it?
So be it.
You make a motion to delay?
Can I just add something real quick? I'd also recommend you bring a letter from the owner of the lot across the street saying that it shows that he will allow you guys to park there as well.
okay, no problem.
Okay, we have a motion to delay. Sir, you understand the questions here?
Yes, sir.
You understand the questions?
Yes, sir. Basically, what you're needing is a site plan showing how we're going to park cars around the business.
Park, where you gonna come, how you gonna come and go? Is it gonna be gravel, is it gonna be paved parking, or are you gonna allow for parking stops? What you gonna do with your lighting? How people gonna come and go? Those houses sit up on the street, so does that mean that everybody that parks in the back's gotta walk around and come in the front door, or they're gonna come in the back door?
No, we don't, it's just the front entrance only. They'll walk around from the back to the front.
That's my point. They're parking in the back, but they gotta walk around to come in the front door, correct?
Yes, sir.
To be well lit.
Okay, we have a motion, hold on just a minute. We have a motion to delay. Do I have a second on that? And I'll come back to Ms. Brown. You have a second on delay?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Brown, you got a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask him, has he talked to the neighbors?
Yes, ma'am. We have done a lot to that building. We have kind of enhanced the neighborhood, and they are really proud of it.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
And I forgot to ask, anybody in the audience care to address this item? Good. Sorry, we're going to hold off on the motion. I'm sorry. Sir, you're going to identify your name, please, sir?
Grover Sampson. Grover Sampson.
Grover. Okay,
Yes,
sir.
And I have a site plan with the side parking, and I also have a site plan where we can put the gravel or slag in the back to park. So that would definitely increase our parking area, and would definitely allow people to be able to park comfortable without having to park on top of each other.
But we need to see it. Okay? No, we don't need.
Like a full-fledged.
We need a full-blown site plan. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I understand your comments and your ideas, but we got to see it on paper to make a decision. Okay? So, all in favor of the motion to delay?
Wait a minute. I have a question.
Okay.
The house across the street is zoned residential people live there, don't they?
Well, it's being utilized as an Airbnb. So
As a
they-
what?
Airbnb.
Airbnb?
They rent it out to different people to stay when they're in town, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's residential, but it's really used as a business. That's not the question. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, George, see, that's the home that's only 75 feet from this property.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
And
next door's a business, I guess.
And it's residential.
Let's see.
To the right, is that a business?
Yes,
Several.
to the right of it is B2, like this is. But the residential structure is right across the street.
So we're like, all right, so if you look, we can vote on that, but if you look above the box, there's 6 cars parked in their backyard, and their backyard's gonna be about the size of yours. So there's no way to get 15 cars in what you were saying, so.
Well, the thing, and I may be a little over, but I mean, I would just assume at 15, but I know we possibly could get 10, at least 10, so.
Well, I mean, when y'all do the site plan, you'll be able to have it drawn out, and it'll show all that, and that'll be great, I mean.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to look at it.
Okay? All in favor of the motion to delay, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Good luck, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Item 6 and 7 and 8 are all presented by the same petitioners, correct? These are 3 mobile homes all together.
Yes. so to
Right?
speak. Yes, I'm Bessie McDaniel.
Okay, so let me go through each one individually. Okay, and then we'll come back to you. Item 6 is for a special exception to place a mobile home for living purposes at 4469 Durban Street in a flood hazard district.
Yes.
And it is for living purposes and for family use, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
The second one is requesting a special exception to place a mobile home for living purposes at 4463 Durban Street in a flood hazard zoning district, and it will be for family use as well,
Absolutely,
correct?
yes.
The last one, number 8, is a special exception to place a mobile home for living purposes at 4457 Durban Street in a flood zoning hazard district, okay?
Yes.
And it will be for family use only,
Yes.
okay? So, board members, Mr. Senator, correct me if I'm wrong, but each mobile home is on a separate lot.
Yes, sir, and they're platted.
They all are platted,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay? So, ma'am, you're not going to use these for rental purposes at all, correct?
No,
Okay?
not other person.
All right. Any questions, board members?
Question.
Okay.
How do you get to that one that's not on Durban Street? I mean, it's got an address on Durban Street, but the L-shaped lot right there, how do you get there?
Well, I have a road, 30 feet ingress was built, plotted there too. And I have that here. Would you like to see
Okay.
it?
And you own all 3 of these?
No. I own the one in red, and my sister and my brother own the other 2.
Okay, the family, all right. So y'all can get in and out of there with,
Absolutely.
okay, without bugging anybody else? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did that lot get platted if it doesn't have it, if it's not adjacent to public access?
There's an access easement.
Access easement?
Yes, sir, there's an access easement going through. This was done apparently all by, the family working together, and they platted it, and there's an access easement to the far west lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
The only thing I would like to try to do is see if they could take the one on number 8 and place the mobile home closer to the back of this lot, or it would be, I guess, if you're looking at it, would be to the west, more towards the western lot line, so it's further away from Durban Street.
I didn't quite understand you, sir.
Okay,
Does
go
that
ahead.
make sense?
Yeah. Item number 8, the
Uh-huh.
one at 4457 Durban Street.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having that running that way, can it be further to the west so that it's further away from the street.
Can you move
Further
it?
to the left, I guess, if you want to say.
Can you move it back some?
Move it back.
Move it to the left and turn
the
it the
left.
other way, so that it would be like facing Durbin Street. So it's further away from the street. We're trying to, we like to have those further away, off the street.
It's not on the street. But the street that we have,
Durbin
the
Street.
ingress is to take a left off of Durbin Street in front of that property, on the side of that property, and go all the way down.
Okay.
And we want all three of them to be kind of set that way. The road is in the front there.
Okay, well then can you at least slide it further back towards that property line to the
Yeah.
left? Just to get it further away from Durbin Street.
Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a half acre of land.
Do we know how far that sets off? We don't, or what's a good number?
The site plan, Mr. Holmes, the site plan indicated it was going to be about 100 feet. The underlying zoning for flood hazard is Ag 1, and that requires a 50-foot. And when I talked to several of the different family members and told them that it was going to have to be, a minimum of 100, a minimum of 50.
Right.
But if y'all want it further back, then that's your
Okay, if that's 100, that's what's on the site plan, I'm good with that.
That's,
then.
yes, sir. That's
If
what-
you're okay with 100 feet off the Durbin, that'd be great.
100 feet?
100 feet.
Right. That's
what's
according
on
to
your
the
site
site
plan.
plan that you've already turned in.
Yeah.
So
This is number 8.
Yes, ma'am. That's what you turned in him was 100 feet. So if that's the way y'all have it planned, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay, so
You good with that?
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Good with me.
Any other questions, board members?
Can you vote for all three of them at the same time?
We will. Anyone in the audience care to address this item?
Entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
Do we have to do a motion for 6, 7, and 8?
Can we do them collectively?
Yeah, I don't see why not, sir.
6, 7, and 8.
All right.
A
I'd like to
special
make a
exception.
motion for 6, 7, and 8. Yeah.
Motion for a special exception for mobile home for 4469 Durbin Street and 4463 Durbin Street and 4457 Durbin Street.
I second that.
Motion to approve for Ms. Brown.
Second.
For Mr. Holmes.
All right, beat you.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve items 6, 7, and 8 collectively, please raise your hand.
He did. He raised it.
Everybody raise your hand, please.
Yes, I did.
All approved, unanimous, okay. Thank you. You're good. Thank you. Item 9 is presented by Roderick Rudolph. Is Mr. Rudolph here?
Truck driver.
We'll delay him till the next meeting. Item 10 is presented by Bella Momuth, requesting a special exception for goats to be kept on the property located at 1341 Devonshire Drive in an R75 single-family residential zoning. Yes, sir. Would you please identify yourself? And you may have
Yes,
to lower your
my
mask
name is-
there.
Yes, my name is Bella Momo, B-E-L-L-A,
Okay.
M-O-M-O-H, and I'm requesting special permission to keep 2 goats at 1341 Devonshire Drive.
Okay, so this came to us by way of a complaint,
Yes.
okay? Mr. Senator, or do you know the subject of the complaint?
No, sir, that anonymity, they're anonymous.
Anonymous?
Yes, sir. I mean, we don't pry into, details. We just take the information.
Okay. Sir, why do you think that there was a complaint then? Noise, smell, odors, disturbance?
No. It's not because of the smell, no odor or anything. They don't create that kind of excrete that is that stinky, and it's way back all the way to the far left, fenced out.
I'm sorry, but I cannot understand you. You might need to lower that mask and speak clearly.
Yes,
into
I'm
that
saying
mic.
the goats are located way far on the left side of the house, almost about 75 to 100 yards to the houses. They don't make noise, and they don't stink. I go there to attend to them every day, you know. They're just like a dog, but they don't make no noise, they don't bother nobody. And since we got this letter, we fenced the whole perimeter of the house to about 6 feet high, so nobody can really see them if that's what's bothering whoever made the complaint.
Are the goats kept into this fenced-in area?
Yes, sir.
And you clean it every day?
Yes, sir.
Is the person who complained here tonight? Ma'am, I can't hear you. You're going to have to step up. All right, I'll just ask. I'll get to you in a moment, okay? All right, sir, go ahead. So there's somebody here that needs that's going to address this item.
Okay, so...
So tell me, why do you think there was a complaint filed against this?
I don't have no idea. They don't make no noise. They're not dirty. They're well kept. They're not being maltreated, so I don't know, unless she has something that I don't know.
Okay.
Have they ever been, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Have they ever been let loose so that they roam?
Not at all, ma'am. Not at all.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions of the petitioner? Okay, ma'am, you want to come forward and give us your name and address, and if you would please speak to the item. Are you for or against it?
I'm against it. My name is Angela Exford. I'm with South Johnson Neighborhood Association. I am the association president, and my neighbors do send all issues through the association. So I'm here to speak on behalf of the members. This was brought to my attention because we've been working on a lot of things with the city council, and this is a residential zone, and we've been fighting a lot of other issues. But to bring this to my attention in reference to the goats, the members are not very happy in reference to this particular area. I do travel on Devonshire a lot. I ride throughout the neighborhood, but because of other issues that we're working with all of the city council members, this issue is a huge problem because it's a single residential zoning area. We also have flood zone, we have B2, B3. We don't need an additional issue with goats. Goats are also livestock, as we all know as well. They're not truly domestic animals. They also can create additional problems too as well. Right now, like I said, our association is not happy at all knowing that we have complaints coming into the association centered around the goats. We would like for you all to deny his request with keeping these animals in our residential area, because if you decide to say, yes, you're allowed to have goats, then we'll have more neighbors wanting to have goats, and then they're going to want chickens and everything else in this residential area. This particular street is right across from, you got Baptist South, you got where the old Health South building is right down on that particular area, Narrow Lane Road. It is truly a residential area. We're trying to take our neighborhood back, and I've been working 1.5 years with my neighbors. I've just newly elected 1.5 years, and we've been doing a lot of work over here. And to have this particular issue to come to the surface, to be put on my plate too, in addition to everything that I've been working on, this is just heartening to myself. This is another thing that's on our plate that we're having to come and to work with the city to try to get things back in perspective in our community. We're not happy about the goats. And I just want to let you all know, this is a residential area. We want to keep it a residential area. It's not an agricultural 1 or 2, it's a residential single home area. So we did not file the complaint. It came from a neighbor, but it was brought to the association. So I just want to let you all know that I'm here just to represent my members from the association. We do have association meetings every month. Even though we have COVID, we meet every month. We do practice social distancing, and we follow the rules. So every neighbor is welcome to come to the meeting. So we would like for him to come to the meeting and share things with us, but having goats in the backyard, we're not on board with that. Thank you.
Let me
if you have
ask anyone have any questions of her?
Yes, ma'am.
I do. I just want to know, were there any specific complaints besides just not wanting livestock?
Well, there was a lot of concerns with our neighbors, with noise. We're having a lot of problems with noise. We've had a lot of problems with animal control, also with the goats themselves. We want to make sure that with smells. Now, on Devonshire, it's a quiet street, but the actual complaint went to him. But once we seen the public notice and it came to the forefront to the association, that's when I have to get involved. But because we have a lot of other issues going on with the city centered around, like, I don't know if you are aware, with the apartments that we had to have dealing with, we have a lot of things going on with the city. The liquor store, we also had a salvage yard coming in our back door. We had a lot of things going on with the city that I've been down here dealing with city council for a year and a half. So now I'm down here with the Board of Adjustment working centered around goats. So my plate has been full. I have to do a lot of research on the codes. I also have to look at zoning. So I had to look at zoning centered around the salvage yard. Now I'm researching the zoning centered around single residential homes. When I looked at the zoning, agriculture 1, agriculture 2, more so for livestock. When we're talking about goats are livestock. Those are not pets. Eventually those goats are going to end up in the pot, on the grill, in the oven, on top of the stove. Come on. Those are what goats are.
But that's not, yeah.
Okay, thank you. We need your name, please, ma'am, for the record.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, we need your name, please, for the record.
My name is Angela. Last name is Exford. It's E-X-F-O-R-D. I am the Seth Johnson Neighborhood Association President.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir, you can come back. You got the last word because you're the petitioner, but we need to wrap it up.
I got a question for the petitioner.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you use the goats for?
They're my pets. I don't use them for anything. I'm just keeping them for pets. I don't like dogs. She says the livestock, 2 goats can be kept as a pet in somebody's house. A dog, livestock can be pets too. A dog barks and make more noise than my goat. My goat don't even make noise.
Yeah, people have livestock.
I feed them. She didn't give a single reason why I shouldn't keep the goats. She said neighbor complained. What did she complain about? Or he complained about? She didn't say that. She didn't say anything. She just representing an animals person that stated that there are goats in the back of the house.
So you're not going to eat the goats, right?
Sir?
You're not going to eat the goats, right?
No, I'm not going to eat them. I got them since they were little, like about 2-3 months ago.
Okay, any other question?
What do you mean he's not?
You good? She said he won't eat the goats, and I know he's not going to eat the goats.
Right.
He got the goats because that's his culture.
Right.
Okay. You got anything else to say, sir?
Sir?
Do you have anything else to say?
Besides, they said they have neighborhood association meeting. I've never seen a flyer on any door or anything that says there's an association or there's a meeting. So if they want people to come to the meeting before they bring situations like this to the board, they should post flyers.
We'll leave that up to y'all.
Okay.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that he be allowed to keep the goats.
I second.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed? It's denied.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have right? Yeah. Item 11 is presented by Kyle Searcy, representing Fresh Anointing House of Worship, requesting a special exception for church use in a multi-tenant building located at 6200 Atlanta Highway in a B3 zoning district. I have to recuse myself from this item, so I've turned it over to Ms. Brown.
Oh, what? Oh, what?
I've turned it over to you. Item 11.
Item 11.
I have to recuse myself.
Fresh Anointing
I just
House of
read it.
Worship.
Yeah.
Kyle Searcy. And you are?
My name is Ernest Poe. I'm Director of Operations for Fresh Anointing House of Worship. representing Bishop Kyle Searcy, who couldn't be here tonight.
And number 11, the request a special exception for church use in a multi-tenant building located at 6200 Atlanta Highway in a B3 commercial zoning district. Tell us what you need.
Well, we're looking at the, I guess the former Virginia College building there at 6200 Atlanta Highway, and we're requesting for that building to be converted into a church. We would use the building on Sundays. We have 2 services at 9 and 11, and we also have a midweek service that on here it says at 7 o'clock, could be, on some occasions, even start at 6 o'clock. But those would be the main times that we would be using the building. From time to time, there could be something similar to a men's conference or some sort of conference, but it's not anything that would be ongoing. So the primary time that we would be using the building would be on Sundays and Wednesday evenings. The building, the capacity for the building, we feel is around 800 people, which would require 160 parking spaces. There's 511 parking spaces in the shopping center, and the shopping center is lit. We will commit to ensuring that when the building is in use, we will maintain lighting, make sure the parking lot is lit while we are using the building in the evening.
Any questions from the members for the vote?
Any food service or anything like that?
There will not be any food service. There will be will not be a soup kitchen. There will not be any of that. It's primarily used for our services, for leadership training, for different small group meetings and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
The congregation of this church is currently on Monticello Drive, right?
Monticello Drive, yes, sir.
Are you going to move from there to this location, or is this to be a second location?
There are lots of options. Right now, we are not planning on selling the other building at this time. And so we're planning to move our main location over to this location.
So you own the building on Monticello?
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to move here, and I assume you'll be leasing this location?
You know, I don't make that decision, so I don't know, but that's a possibility. It is, yes.
Okay. So you're moving, in my mind, you're moving away from Monticello Drive to this location on Atlanta Highway, right?
Yes.
How many people y'all have now in the congregation on Monticello?
Somewhere between 800 to 900.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those people, that's who will be moved, the whole bunch. Okay.
Yes.
Just curious. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience have a question on this item? If there are
I'd like to make a
any questions,
motion.
I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
there's been motion and second that this be approved. Give me a show of hands. Unanimous.
Recuse. That's it.
Okay. Is that
That's it?
Yeah, you got
Okay,
it. Thanks.
You got it.
Thank you.
Oh, gotta go. Item 12 is presented by Matilda Phelan, requesting a special exception for a mobile home for living purposes to be located on the west side of Old Wetumpka Highway, approximately 500 feet north of Jack Drive, in an Ag 2 zoning district. Ms.
Good
Phelan?
evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Matilda Phelan. My husband is Ralph Phelan. In his absence, he's at work. I am here this evening on behalf of both of us requesting a special exception for a mobile home and street address for living purposes on Old Wetumpka Highway.
Okay. For family use only, not for rental.
Correct.
Okay. Any discussions, board members?
She's saying it's for, she's not going to use it.
Oh, yes, it's for myself and my husband.
Or it's for yourself and your husband.
Mm-hmm.
But not parental. Any further discussion? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion we approve. We approve.
Second.
Mr. Johnson makes a motion to approve. Ms. Brown makes a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Item 13, presented by Mariana Ray, requesting a coverage variance for an additional accessory structure to be located at 2211 River Road in R70 zoning district.
Good evening. I'm Mariana Ray. I'm going to have my husband, Douglas Slay, speak on my behalf.
Good evening. We're requesting a variance on the size of our garage. It's a detached garage that we're building next to the house. The only reason that the variance is required is because of the zoning there that extends back off of Cusada Ferry into the half of our property. It's zoned R50 when we're living on 18 and a half acres there. So it's farmland, we have horses. So there's really there's no size constraints or anything like that. The closest property line to the garage will be 69 feet across our driveway and some other grassy areas. So really not a restriction at all.
Okay. So all structures are on an 18-acre platted lot, right, Mr. Center?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But it's zoned R50, single family.
And we did some research, and we can't figure out how that zoning got there.
Right.
Right.
Half of the property is zoned R50, the other half isn't.
I think I'd get it rezoned if I were you.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't have to come.
Right, right.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
You have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Good luck. Sir, y'all here for a reason? Are y'all here on one that, were you late getting here? Jovan, which one was that?
Number one, Mr. Perkins.
Oh, okay. You're Mr. Perkins again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do me a favor, Mr. Perkins, remove that mask if you don't mind.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Nobody's around you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, you're back for the 5th time, I think.
Yes, sir.
You broke a record, you know that?
Yes, sir.
You broke all the records.
Yeah, okay.
And I've been on this board a long time.
I didn't mean to mistake. I didn't mean to.
All right. So, board members, Mr. Perkins came. We couldn't make a decision, so we required him to get an actual survey of his lot. And if you, board members, you'll go to the survey that Mr. Jeffcoat did. I believe Mr. Jeffcoat did this one.
Yes, sir.
You'll see buildings A, B, and C. Building C encroaches over the property line. Building B is only 1.75 feet off the property line. Building A is the only one that's far enough off the property line. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. All right, so, Mr. Perkins, what do you volunteer to do? What do you recommend we do to resolve this problem? Otherwise, we'll resolve it for you.
Well, the only reason I did that was just for the family.
Sir?
I said the only reason I did that was just for the family because I can show you where my wife and my daughter is going to school from, my wife is working from home and my daughter is going to school from home. And so...
Well, we're not dealing with that. We're dealing about the buildings, okay? And you got one building over the property line and you got one that's 1.7 feet off the property line, okay? So let's focus on building number A.
Okay.
Which is the furthest way from the property lines.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. You
What
said,
does that water on building A, does it encroach onto your adjacent neighbors?
it's kind of hard for me to hear you, Mr.
Is the water that comes off of the roof of building A, is it falling onto your adjacent property owners?
No, it's not falling on the
It's
neighbor.
on your property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, any questions, board members? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we allow the petitioner to keep building A as is, but we require him to remove building C and B.
Okay. Okay. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any further discussion? Everybody understand the motion? The motion is to require the petitioner to keep building A but remove buildings B and C. All in favor of the motion, raise your hand. It's unanimous. Okay? You got it, Mr. Perkins? You got to remove buildings B and C. Mr. Reese, you want to give him a time frame on that? 90 days?
90 day.
Yes, sir. I mean, with the way the weather's been and
Right.
the stuff like that, I think that would be gracious.
90-day time frame.
Okay? All in favor? Everybody in favor of that? Okay, Mr. Perkins. That's what we've approved.
Okay, I didn't quite understand all that, so I'm trying to get.
The motion is, and we've had a lot of time to think about this because you came here in April.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
And so the decision from the board is a unanimous decision that you're required to remove buildings B and C within 90 days from today.
The two smaller ones.
Yeah.
The large building can remain.
Building A. Okay. James, you want to go show it to him?
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
What would be the purpose of
Sir?
having me to remove those?
Well, one's encroaching the property line, and the other one, building B, is only 1.75 feet off of the rear property line. Okay? But you got a lot of buildings back there.
Yes, sir. But
Not
that
only
just-
have you broken the records
not
on the
a-
number of tenants, you've broken records of the most buildings on the on the lot.
How many square feet is allowed? I mean, that's.
I don't know.
585
585 is allowed.
is allowed.
Only.
I don't know what he's got.
Mr. Perkins? Well, we made our motion. All in favor of the minutes? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.